What's good, y'all? Kid Jerome here. I am reviewing Beyonce's brand new album. Came out yesterday, Renaissance. It's the 7th album by Houston R&B legend Beyonce, and I couldn't be more thrilled. I'm a huge fan of Beyonce. 4 is one of the most impressive vocal performances I've ever heard. What she did on Love and Top has never been replicated. Lemonade was an absolute juggernaut of an album. It was so impressive front to finish. My expectations could not have been higher for Renaissance, so I was thrilled and a little bit anxious about listening to it. The first thing that really stood out to me were the vocals. I mean, obviously, the vocals are the reason I'm here. They're the star of the show. They're Beyonce's strongest suit, and they were incredible on this album as well. It was no exception. She only gets better as time goes on. There was a very specific technique that I noticed on this album. It's not necessarily new, but I feel like it was in full force on Renaissance, where she layers her vocals so that they're kind of coming from all directions at once. You hear some examples of like her maybe harmonizing with herself on a lower frequency, then there's another line in a higher frequency where she's just floating on top of the melody, and then she just cuts straight through the mid with the main vocal lines. You hear some examples of this on the outro of Alien Superstar. The entirety of Cuff It, all of Cuff It is like this. Outro of Virgo's Groove is kind of like Beyonce becomes inescapable. Every sound is Beyonce. Whenever she's doing this, it's Beyonce's world, and you're living in it. You're just experiencing everything she has to offer all at once, all the time. It's beautiful. It's a little jaw-dropping, absolutely inspiring stuff. Some of the most powerful moments on this album for me were when she does this vocal layering technique with her guest vocalists. Big Freedia has never sounded more at home on someone else's song than she does on Break My Soul. She gives the song the character it needed, and she absolutely killed it. Hearing Big Freedia do her Big Freedia thing underneath Beyonce, just gliding over the vocal melody, really just belting out, floating on top of the instrumental. It's very powerful stuff, and it's a match made in heaven. On Move, Grace Jones and Thames are almost indiscernible from Beyonce. They fit so well on the track. They match Beyonce's energy and vocals so perfectly. It really just feels like one large vocal just coming at you full force. It's not unlike what she's doing by herself on a lot of these songs, but the union of these three vocalists was very fitting. It was very impressive, and I was honestly blown away. The rap vocals are a huge improvement over what I've heard on things like the Carters. She was very determined. She knew exactly what she wanted to say, even if she didn't write a lot of the lyrics herself. She absolutely delivered. When she's rapping, she doesn't really use this vocal layering technique. It's more clean cut. It's more in your face, less frilly. The layering and the top vocals, the low vocals, they come in sort of like ad-libs at the end of each bar, really accenting and punctuating what she's trying to say. She can't help herself. She has to do her Beyonce thing at every point in every song. Even if she's rapping, she has to sneak in a and I'm here for it. I love it. Some of my favorite rap vocals on this album were on Cozy. The end of Energy was fantastic, and I loved the inflections on Break My Soul, how she really plays with her vocal delivery there. She's branching out, and I couldn't be happier. The instrumentals were all very dance-based. It's a dance album. We have no shortage of synthesized instruments, no shortage of powerful in-your-face kick drums. She had a very specific sound with this album, and for the most part adhered to it. We have some really interesting drum patterns on this album. We have some really off-the-wall, unconventional stuff for Beyonce, at least. We have some reggaeton drum beats on Cozy and Heated. We have traditional 4-on-the-floor dance drum beats with a kick and the snare and a kick and a snare on Cuff It, Break My Soul, and Virgo's Groove. We even have some trap drums on Church Girl with these unpredictable snares and these 16th note hats. It's very eclectic, the sound she was able to create on this album, but it's never off the wall. Everything's pretty concise. Every song makes sense on the track list. There's nothing that really seems out of place. I mean, there's some quieter moments, but those give way to the dancey tracks pretty quickly. It felt like every song was important on this album. It felt like the transitions between the songs were very important to her. And there's not a single dud. There's some extremely interesting beats on this album. On Church Girl, we have all these eclectic, seemingly random sounds cutting in and dipping out before we have time to get used to them. It's this guerrilla warfare musical style that really keeps the listener on their toes, subverts their expectations, and then delivers on the subverted expectations. On America Has a Problem, we have this extremely frantic, low-end, grimy beat, and these very powerful, aggressive rap vocals on top of it. This is Beyoncé's strongest rap performance on the entire album. It was really, really cool stuff. I wasn't expecting her to have that sort of vocal delivery on a dance album nonetheless. It was very impressive. Something very notable about this album is the transitions. The transitions are seamless, undetectable. Every song bleeds perfectly into the next one. Sometimes they even increase the tempo during the outro just so it fits better with the next song. We hear this on the end of Cozy, bleeding into Alien Superstar. The end of Cozy is the instrumental for Alien Superstar. It's very thematically consistent in this way. It's hardly even noticeable. It feels like a part two, but if that's the case, then every song is a part two to the song before it. We have Cuff It, which transitions into Energy flawlessly. These sound like the same song. Honestly, the first two listens, I didn't even notice that it had gone on to the next one. But I loved Energy. I loved the guest vocal on Energy. I loved the energy of Energy. This song was produced by Skrillex, so that's cool. Haven't heard anything from him in a while. I'm not sure if Skrillex has ever worked with Beyoncé. I could be wrong. But it was fantastic, the music that they made together. It was very effective. I was feeling it. Renaissance is a monster of a dance album. It is absolutely loaded to the gills, start to finish. Every track is important. Every track adds something to the mix. Some songs that really stood out to me were Energy, Church Girl. This song is crazy. This is my favorite on the album by far. And Thick. I would recommend this album to fans of R&B, fans of Beyoncé. Obviously, I'm sure you've already heard it, though. And anyone who wants to start the party. This is a very dancey album for the appropriate environment. This is exactly what you want to be listening to. I give this album a 9 out of 10. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about the album in the comments. If you appreciate what I had to say, please leave a like. That really helps me out. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video where I'm going to be reviewing Jackpot Juicer by Dance Gavin Dance. I'm really excited about that one. That's one of my favorite bands. So until then, I will see you later. Peace.